to the online lecture. So today, welcome to the online lecture. So today's topics is the wrong password to happiness. So it's a very important topics. This is Srimad Bhagavatam 7:42 verses. So we can discuss on that subject matter, that how everyone seeking for the happiness, but no, we are entering a wrong password. Therefore, the result is contrary. We are getting unhappiness. So today we will discuss. Before we start, we pray our Mangalachara. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namah Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Amagyanatimirandasya Jnana-anjana-salakaya Chakkuru-nimiletanjena Tasmai Sri-gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Jana-bhutale Soyam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sopadantikam Vandeham Sri-guru Sri-jutta-pada-kamalam Sri-gurun Vaishnavanam Cha Sirupam Sagrajatam Sagana Siragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalitam Sri Vishakham Vitam Cha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopis Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sutta Devi Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatrivasya Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanabhya Vaishnabhya Namo Namaha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pasat Desatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you very much. Today is very important subject matter from the Srimad Bhagavatam. This wrong password to happiness. So everybody in this world is seeking for happiness. You just had a New Year celebrations, and our emails, WhatsApp and Facebook overflowed with so many wishes of happiness. But it happened in 2020, and what happened? The result was very devastating. The COVID-19, we have confronted the COVID-19, and we have confronted the unhappiness. We have faced the unhappiness. The result was, despite our email. One second, let me check my sound. Despite our, fine. Despite our email and WhatsApp messages flooded with so many wishes of happiness, but we encountered unhappiness. We have experienced 2020 very devastating experience. So that means there was something wrong in our conception and conclusion of happiness. There is something wrong in entering the password to assess our happiness. So let us know from the Srimad Bhagavatam point of view what wrong password we are entering. Sometimes some people think that, family life is happiness, because everybody has got entire world has got some delusory impression of happiness. Somebody says that, somebody thinks that, family life is happiness. Others think that, no, family life is not happiness. The sense gratification is, or sex life is happiness. Some say that money is happiness, money is everything. And some others say, no, it's not money, it's heaven is very happiness. Or working very hard, with a high ambition, aspirations is happiness. Heavenly planet is happiness. Some say that, merging into the God is happiness. Some say that become yogi is happiness. So let us discuss about and know from the authoritative source, Srimad Bhagavatam, what is really wrong in our password, so that every time we enter it and there is no happiness, that means there is wrong in password. Let us know the wrong password, also know the right password to access the happiness. So let us start the beautiful verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, which explains the very nature of the wrong password we are entering to access the happiness. Let us see this beautiful verses 7:42 of Srimad Bhagavatam. So there is a beautiful verses here. You can see here, Sukhaya Sukhaya Dukkhamokhaya Sankalpa Hyakarminaha Sadapnotaya Dukkham Anihaya Sukhabrita. In the material world, every materialistic desire to achieve happiness and diminishes distress. Yes, everyone wants happiness. Nobody was praying for, even an atheist also never prays, no, I want unhappiness, I want distress. No, everybody wants happiness and want to reduce his distress, diminish his distress. And therefore he acts accordingly. Actually, however, one is happy as long as one does not endeavor for happiness. As soon as one begins his activity for happiness, his condition of distress begins. So it is stated here, as soon as we are aspiring, as soon as we have an ambition, this false aspiration, false ambition to become happy, then the distress begins actually. Why? Just like as soon as we enter the wrong password, there is a pop-up message that your password is wrong. Similarly, as soon as we are trying to become happy, the distress begins. Distress begins. This is the very nature of this happiness in the material world. Because our illusory happiness is temporary. You are thinking that, oh, happiness can be achieved by so many different ways. We have concocted, we have manufactured, but that is temporary, and that is also many times it is just reverse. The result is reverse actually. The result, because we are in a conditioned stage. We are in a condition, we are in a material existence. The concomitant of material existence, the concomitant factor, the default factor which is grayed out, we cannot change it, is misery, is unhappiness. Just like as a prison house, a jail is not meant for comfortable or enjoyment or happiness. It is meant for punishment. So this very material existence we are living is by default dukkhalayam sastvatam, is miserable and temporary. As a result, all our endeavor, effort to become happy is frustrated. Therefore, it is said that it is a wrong password. We do not know. We are trying to become happy. We are endeavoring. We are adjusting the atmosphere, environment to become happy. But despite all our effort, all our endeavors, our happiness is frustrated, is checked. The result is reversed. Because due to this existential dilemma and disharmony, we are existing in a non-existential platform. A non-existential platform, there is no happiness. Just like a fish. A fish is happy in water. If you take out the fish and put it in a Buckingham Palace or a Marina Bay Sands hotel, or a 5-star hotel, a Marriott hotel, a Taj hotel, Hotel Taj, he cannot be happy. The fish cannot be happy because its constitutional element is water. Its constitutional atmosphere is water. Similarly, we being a spirit soul, our constitutional atmosphere is spiritual existence. Therefore, every time we are trying to adjust in a material existence, no, I will be happy by family life, I will be happy by different way, we cannot be happy. Srimad Bhagavatam rejected outrightly all your manufactured plans as a failure, as a futile effort. We will discuss, we will go through all this different conception of happiness in this material world. So because let us know first of all nature of happiness. So here one of the beautiful verses in Bhagavatam 7:9-25, it is stated that in this material world every living entity desires some future happiness, which is exactly like a mirage in the desert. Absolutely right. 200% right. Because it's a mirage in desert. There is no happiness, illusory happiness. Just like a mirage in desert, there is no water actually, it's a mirage. Where is water in desert, or in other words, where is happiness in this material world? As for this body, what is its value? It's merely a source of various diseases. The so-called philosophers, scientists, politicians know this very well, but nonetheless they aspire for temporary happiness. Happiness is very difficult to obtain, but because they are unable to control their sense, they run after the so-called happiness of the material world, never come to the right conclusion. See, beautiful verses. It is stated that the nature of this material existence, running after the happiness, is a mirage in the desert. Nobody has happy. Because we are uncontrolled, we cannot control our sense. We are running after the happiness. No, I want to be happy, I want to be happy. Where is the happy? This body is temporary. Where is the happiness we can derive from this material world? In the temporary material world. So it is rejected. Prahlad Maharaj, a great devotee, he has given this beautiful statement that so-called happiness is not is illusory. It's like a mirage in desert. To this purport, Prabhupada beautifully written. There is a song in Bengali language which states that I constructed this home for happiness, but unfortunately there was a fire. Everything has been burned to ashes. This illustrates the nature of material happiness. This is the real nature of happiness, the subjective nature of happiness, intrinsic, inherent nature of happiness, that we have created a home and fire come and burnt it. That is what material nature. We have created so many environment, gorgeous arrangement, sophisticated environment, but the death comes, takes away everything. Nonetheless, one plans to hear or think something very pleasing. Unfortunately, all of one's plans are annihilated in due course of time. Yes, due course of time, all the plans are annihilated. We have seen in the history also. There was Napoleon Bonaparte, there was a great personality like Hitler, and they want to become, supremacy, they want to control the world. They want to be happy. In so many ways, designed so many ways, by his supremacy, by his control, by his power, but they all are gone into oblivion. There are so many empire also, Greek empire, British empire, they have come and gone into oblivion. They want to be happy also. They plan for the happiness. The Alexander the Great, Mussolini, Gandhi, all these people have come and gone into oblivion. So we have seen that all this endeavor, all this so-called happiness annihilated due course of time. This is the very subjective nature of this material happiness. But nonetheless, we are trying the so-called temporary happiness. We are trying. We cannot stop blazing fire by constantly pouring ghee upon it. We cannot stop it. One cannot satisfy oneself by increasing plans for sense enjoyment. We are planning for sense enjoyment. We are planning for happiness. We cannot be satisfied. There is no question of, just like a blazing fire. We cannot stop it by pouring the ghee. We have to pour the water. That means we are entering a wrong password that was not allowing us to enter into, assess the happiness. Happiness, just like you think of happiness is the application. And we have to enter a password. The password is wrong actually. Every time you are trying to assess the happiness, it is the wrong password. So these are the subjective nature. So one of the verses 7, 9, 17 also it is say that this although there are many remedies by which you get out from miserable life, any such remedies in material world are more miserable than the misery themselves. So this is the thing, that we are trying to so much kind of manufacture many remedies to counteract the materialistic measures, to counteract this unhappiness situation, miserable situation, just like COVID-19. We are trying in many ways, but everything is futile. Today COVID-19, tomorrow it will be COVID-20, COVID-21, tsunami, so many. We have been tormented, tossed by the onslaught of this material existence. Therefore, any kind of remedy is more miserable than misery himself. Any kind of, we are trying to hack the password, it is more miserable. You have to create a software hacking, you have to catch hold of a hackers and try to make a big program, but still you will be failed only. So let us know that is actually we are thinking that illusory happiness is nothing. Is Srimad Bhagavatam, it is say that 339, Kurban dukkha pratikaram sukhan manyate. Sometimes we think that we are happy because simply by counteracting our miserable things, miseries, we are thinking, oh, I am happy, I am happy. Just like I have an issue, I solved it, I am thinking, oh, I am happy. But the next moment there are so many issues that are coming. We are always being, entangled with issues, problem, misery. So by simply counteracting the so-called issues, we are considering its happiness, but that is not happiness. This is illusion. It is said that kurban dukkha pratikaram sukham manyate grihi. If he can successfully counteract such misery, he thinks that he is happy. Actually, this is not, this is not real happiness, because say that the Lord Himself certify this material world as a impermanent place that is full of misery. There is no question of happiness in this material world, either individually or in terms of family, society or country. It is something going on in the name of happiness, that is also illusion. It's just a name of happiness, that is illusion actually. Is a successful counteraction of the distress is not, is not the real happiness. So we are simply you are simply trying to be happy in so many ways. Let us know about so many conception of happiness. Many people say that family life is very happy. So let us know what Srimad Bhagavatam say about that. Srimad Bhagavatam say that the family life in chapter Canto 11, 3, chapter 3 and text 18, Sri Prabhupada said, accepting the roles of male and female in human society, the conditions are united in sexual relationship. That means marriage. Thus they constantly make material endeavor to eliminate their unhappiness, unlimitedly increase their pleasure, but one should see that they are inevitably achieve exactly the opposite result. In other words, their happiness inevitably vanishes as they grow older, their material discomfort increases. So it is stated here that we are trying to be united with family life and trying and endeavoring to eliminate all the unhappiness and increase the pleasure, but we see that inevitably achieve exactly opposite result. The happiness inevitably vanishes as they grow older, the material discomfort increases. We have seen practically that family life, how the risks of family life, when we are trying to be happy, but things are very burdening, so much burden, so much struggle for existence to maintain a family. And when you grow old, that also so much discomfort. We are trying to be happy, but we cannot be happy because of our old age. We cannot enjoy even, because the body is like a machine, it won't work. So in old age we cannot eat properly, we cannot do anything, we cannot do any sense enjoyment also. So we are thinking that family life we will be happy, but it's not possible. It is rejected by the Bhagavatam, because we are trying to be is this very nature. It is said that, my dear king, woman who is very attractive in the beginning but in the end is very disturbing, exactly like a flower which is attractive in the beginning and detestable at the end. With woman, the living entity is entangled in lusty desire. He enjoys sex just as one enjoys aroma of flower. He does enjoy life of sense gratification from his tongue to his genitals. In this way, living entity considers himself very happy in family life. So this is exactly, everyone is trying to be thinking that he is happy in family life, enjoying the tongue to genitals, united with his wife. He has always remained absorbed in such thought. He feels great pleasure in hearing the talks of his wife and children, which are like a sweet humming bumblebees that collects money from flower to flower. He forgets that before him is time, which is taking away his lifespan with the passing day and night. He does not see gradual diminishing of his life, nor does he care about the superintendent of death who is trying to kill him from behind. Just try to understand this. You are in a precarious position, are threatened from all sides. See how the family life is so much precarious. We are thinking that, we will be happy in family life, but we do not know that family life with wife and children, but we do not know that before him the time who is taking away lifespan with the passing day and night. Every day and night we are reducing our life. Ahu ayur harati by punsam uddam astam chanyasu. Every, it is stated in Bhagavatam that every sunrise we are reducing the one day of our life. We are reducing the duration of our life. So every sunrise we are reducing. That means we are in a death queue. We are in a death queue which is moving forward. Sometimes we are thinking but in a death queue we are very happy in family life. We are enjoying the birthday party. We are enjoying anniversary. But we have no idea that the time the time is passing away. Time is taking our lifespan. And we are moving forward for the death. We are approaching to death, relentlessly, imperceptibly approaching to death. Still we are in a death queue. We are very enjoying the life. That is foolishness. Sometimes we see that there are many people died in COVID. We are giving a condolence message, but we do not know that we are also in a queue. And any time we will be executed. We will be terminated, we will die. Ahani ahani bhutani gacchati ajamalayam sesasthavara icchanti kim aschajam atah para. This is most amazing, stupidly amazing thing, astounding thing that we see that so many people died. Still we are in a death queue. We are enjoying all the things. We are enjoying party. We are enjoying our appraisal. We are enjoying our birthday. We are enjoying our anniversary, etc. We are thinking, no, I am young. I have still time. But we do not know. You should understand that the queue is always may not be in sequence. Sometimes it is written that queue may not be in sequence. Any time it can come. Your term will any time come. It's not like that I am a queue, I am young, I have still time. No, any time it will come. Death come any time. Any time. Every step is danger. It will not see that, oh, you are young, you are old, you are child. So this, in a death queue, the queue is not in a sequence. It cannot be called in a sequence, any time, randomly also. Therefore, this family life is so-called happiness in family life. Is not actually real happiness. Is a wrong password to enter the access to wrong password to access the happiness, because time is there taking away things. And death is really behind, time is in front, is taking away our duration of life, and death is behind, is waiting for us. So therefore, this flying and fading happiness, so-called family happiness, we consider as this is real happiness. That is our illusion. That is a wrong conception. Therefore, the family life is always precarious and threatened from all sides. From all sides. So this family life, the conception of to be happiness means family life, that is a wrong conception, as explained in these verses 429, 54 of Srimad Bhagavatam and 11, 318 also different verses. Srimad Bhagavatam rejected this conception, these conclusions. So Lord, in another verses also Lord Brahma said 10, 14, 30 says, my dear Krishna, until people become your devotee, their material attachment, desires remain thieves, their homes remain prisons, and their affectionate feeling for their family members remain food cycles. It's like a family life means, it's like in a jail, in a jail you are being confined, you are being house attached, considering yourself, this is a place of happiness, but you do not know, it's just a matter of time. Matter of time, you are diminishing every day, you are diminishing your duration of life, and behind the death is waiting for you. It will snatch away, murtu sarvarasya chaham, all your association, all your assets, everything will be taken away. All your family member, relatives, everything will be separated in course of time. They are like a guest, they are like a traveler, they will be dispersed in course of time. It is stated in 11-1753 that if it's like family life is like just like they are like a travelers. It will be dispersed in course of time. You can see here that is 11-1753. The association of children, wife, relatives, friend is just like the brief meeting of travelers. With each change of body, one is separated from all such associates. Just as one loses subject one possesses in a dream, and when a dream is over, it's like a dream world. As soon as dream is over, you will lost. In dream, I am thinking I am driving a Rolls Royce, I am buying a Rolls Royce, I am having a Rolls Royce. But as soon as we awake, you see that there is no Rolls Royce. Similarly, the family life is like a dream. As soon as one awakes from the dream, he finds that, there is no Rolls Royce, there is no happiness in family life. So therefore, family life, happiness from the family life has been rejected here. So let us go to the another happiness conception and conclusion of happiness. Conception of happiness from the materialistic people, that money, sweeter than honey, brighter than sunshine, they say. Money can buy every happiness. But is it true? Let us know. So it is said that in 420:33, one of the 422:33 of Bhagavatam, for human society constantly thinking of how to earn money applied for sense gratification brings about the destruction of everyone's interest. When one becomes devoid of knowledge and devotional service, he enters into species of life like those of trees and stones. So constantly thinking of money, everybody is from the morning to night they are thinking of money. That is only the motivational factor to go to office, undergoing enormous stressful life, exceedingly busy life, because only one motivational factor is money. They are thinking money can buy the happiness. But it is rejected here, because money, we are buying, earning money and enjoying the sense gratification brings about the destruction of our interest. Human being interest is that kamasya nendriya piti lava jivet javat. Kamasya nendriya, it's not meant for sense gratification. The money is things that will boost that will facilitate to enjoy the senses. But it will defeat our interest. The interest of human form of life, human life, is to get out from this material existence, material misery. Kamasya nendriya piti lava jivet javat. Jivasya tattva jigyasa. Jivasya tattva jigyasa. We have to inquire about the absolute truth. We are inquire about the awkward position of life, why we are enforced in this material, temporary material existence, how to get out from this material existence. That is the human life begins with this inquiry. But money, because of money we have been deluded. We are engaged in the sense gratification, and as a result we are defeating our interest. Therefore money is the source of all distress, all misery. That is stated in 11.3.19 that wealth is perpetual source of all distress. It is most difficult to acquire. Yes. Artham arjat, it is stated in beautiful verses from the one of the another year. He said that Arthanam arjam dukkham arjitam cha rakhyanam aye dukkham baye dukkham digartha kasta sansraya. He said Arthanam arjani dukkha, by earning the money itself is very difficult, and after earning the money also spending is also very difficult. So spending also very difficult, and also everything is dukkham, very difficult actually, very painful. So therefore it is said that it is a perpetual source of distress. It is most difficult to acquire, and it is a virtual death for soul. What satisfaction does one actually gain from his wealth? Similarly, how can one gain ultimate or permanent happiness from one's so-called home, children, relative and domestic animal, which are all maintained by one's hard-earned money? So here it is said that because of our hard-earned money, we are maintaining all the domestic animals, your family, children, relatives. But what happiness or permanent happiness? We cannot get the permanent happiness. It is just temporary. Not only temporary, it is called virtual death for the soul, because it's usually one is deluded by the money. It is the most attractive things, the topmost attachment, highest attachment for the human being to become motivated by money or captivated by money. Everybody is running after money from day and night. It is stated by Narada Muni that out of all attachment, Narada Muni say, among all attraction of material enjoyment, the attraction of riches builders one intelligent more than having beautiful body feature, taking birth in an aristocratic family and being learned. When one is uneducated, falsely puffed up by wealth, the result is that one engages his wealth in enjoying wine, women, gambling. This is what we are doing. All modern civilization is heading this one, how to earn money and engage his wealth in enjoying wine, women, gambling. In this way, they defeat the interest of human life, which has been obtained after so many evolution process, going through all the evolution from marine life to aquatic. In so many ways we evolved to the human birth, very rare human birth. But that has been defeated by simply because of this money, which is the root cause of all evil. Because of money we have deluded. We are thinking for the happiness, we can buy happiness in the money, by money, but it is not a fact. It's all impermanent. What happiness we can buy is impermanent. Everything is transient. Everything is temporary. Everything is very flying, fading, fickle, fleeting existence, fleeting happiness. Because whole material existence is ephemeral. It is fleeting. It is flickering. So we cannot derive any permanent happiness from this flickering existence, from this fleeting existence. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam, beautiful verses 10, 10, 8, Narada Muni rejected that. He told this, out of all attraction, bodily features, aristocratic family, education, all attraction, money is the most attractive thing. Everybody is running after money. Without money, there is no motivation. An educated person will not go to office. No, I do not want knowledge. I do not want to work because I want money. That is the only motivational factor for a man to undergo hard working, hardship. Therefore, it is rejected. In Srimad Bhagavatam also, it is stated by the Prahlad Maharaj, this money is very, very dangerous. It is stated in 7.6.10 of Srimad Bhagavatam that money is so dear that one considers money as being sweeter than honey. Therefore, who can give up the desire to accumulate money? So everybody is money is so dear, so that nobody can give up this money, especially in household life, particularly in family life, because money is the impetus. This is the impetus. Thieves, professional servant, soldier, merchant try to acquire money even by risking their life, risking their very dear lives. Thieves and all, they are stealing money to accumulate. They are risking their lives. The merchant also, they are risking their life. They invest in the stock market. They want to accumulate money, and they lost everything. They are risking their life for the money. So dangerous money is. It's very difficult to give up. But it is an illusory happiness, as we have learnt from the Bhagavatam, that it is very illusory happiness. Because money will create so many kind of bad qualities in us. As soon as we have got money, it comes with so many bad qualities. Theft, violence, speaking lie, duplicity, lust, anger, perplexity, pride, quarreling, enmity, faithless, envy, dangers caused by women, gambling and intoxication are 15 undesirable qualities that contaminate men because of greed for wealth. So because of greed for wealth, these 15 bad quality, undesirable quality will contaminate the men. So therefore this money is very, very therefore one desiring to achieve the real benefit of life should therefore remain aloof from undesirable material wealth. Therefore it is stated, it is recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam in these verses 11, 23, 18 and 19, that one should therefore remain aloof from the material wealth, because it comes up with so many undesirable qualities that will destroy us, that will that will defeat our real benefit of life. Therefore money is a happiness also rejected, family life is rejected, money also rejected, because everybody is thinking that family life is happiness. Some say no, money is happiness. Both are rejected by Srimad Bhagavatam. Both are having wrong we are entering a wrong password. We are thinking that password family life, then I can access happiness. Then we are entering password money, password is money, still it is wrong password. Then let us go to different other password to know that whether we can access the happiness or not. So now the sense gratification also. Let's go to whether sense gratification in this human form of life, men and women united for sensual pleasure, but by actual experience we have observed that none of them are happy. Therefore, seeing the contrary result, I have stopped taking part in materialistic activity. So here it is said that the sensual pleasure is also is not so happy. Although its beginning is happiness, but it is very transient. In the end, it is like a poison. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita 18:38 that in the beginning this so-called sensual happiness is a pleasure, but in the end it's like a poison. So there is no happiness in the sensual pleasure. It is stated also it is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 7:9-45. Sex life is compared to the rubbing of two hands to relieve an itch. Grahame, the so-called grihastha who have no spiritual knowledge, think that itching is the greatest platform of happiness, although actually it is a source of distress. The kripanas, the fools who are just opposite of Brahmana, are not satisfied by repeated sensuous enjoyment. Those who are dhira, however, who are sober, who tolerate this itching, are not subject to the suffering of fools and rascals. The suffering, it says that dukkham, yan maithunadi grahame, the sukham mi tuchham, is a tuchham is very, very, what we say, insignificant, tuchham insignificant. Kandunena karo viva dukkha dukkham, all misery only, all unhappiness. Tripanti neha kurpana bahu dukkha vajja, is great unhappiness. Kandutyan manasa jim visayatadira. But those who are sober person, they know that it is all unhappiness. The so-called sensual happiness is really what we say, dukkham. Srimad Bhagavatam says that dukkham. So many times he used the word dukkham, bahu dukkham bhaja. It's bahu dukkha. It's no happiness in sensual pleasure. In Bhagavad Gita also Krishna says that it is just like a beginning. It is 5:22 of Bhagavad Gita. It is said that this sensual pleasure is just like yehi samprasaja bhogo dukkha jonaya evate adyantavata konte anate suramante buddha. An intelligent person does not take part in the source of misery which are due to contact with material senses. O son of Kunti, such pleasure have a beginning and the end, and an end, and so the wise man does not delight in them. It is said that all this sensual pleasure, all this happiness which is derived from the sensual pleasure has a beginning and the end. Therefore, those who are wise, they should not delight in them. It's very temporary, very transient by nature. So this so-called sensual pleasure to access the happiness is also been rejected, that it is a wrong password to access happiness. So we have completed that family life is not the right password, the sensual pleasure not right password, the money also is not the right password. Let us go to the another conception or impression of happiness. Another impression that we can be happy in heavenly planet. If we go to heavenly planet, we can be happy. This conception also rejected by the Srimad Bhagavatam 11:320. One cannot find permanent happiness even in the heavenly planets, which one can attain the next life by ritualistic ceremony and sacrifice. Even in material heaven, the living entity is disturbed by rivalry with his equal and envy of those of superior to him. Just like in our office, there is always diplomatic, there is always rivalry of the colleagues and envy those who are superior to. Similarly, in heavenly planet also same kind of rivalry is going on. And since one resident in heaven is finished with the exhaustion of pious activities, the denizens of heaven are afflicted by fear, anticipating the destruction of their heavenly life. Thus they resemble the king who, though enviously admired by ordinary citizens, are constantly harassed by enemy kings who therefore never attain actual happiness. See, the heavenly planet also there is no happiness, there is rivalry also. There is a fear that after the exhaustion of our pious activities, we can go again, we will fall down to, again we have to leave the heavenly planet. This is a temporary place, just like a visa, a temporary visa. So although temporary visa allow us to stay in a country, other country, but when it expires, then we have to go back to our. Similarly, here also one example also given, that although a king is admired by the citizen, but he is harassed by the enemy king. Similarly, in heavenly planet also, although it is so much opulent, is there so much happiness, but they are harassed by the other people, other contemporary, other colleagues. Therefore there is no happiness, there is always rivalry. Also it is a temporary place. One visa is expired, we will go back. Similarly, one pious activity is exhausted, then he has to come back. Krishna says in 9:22 Bhagavad Gita. Khinepunyam visate murtulokam. Khinepunyam. Khinepunyam means when all your pious activities is used, just like a points, one is used, then whenever you are calling, you have to pay. Free call is gone. Therefore, once heavenly planet duration lost, then he has to come back to the material existence. Therefore, heaven is also a wrong password to access happiness. Also, there are so many verses on the heaven, how the heaven it is also stated in same thing substantiated in another verses 11, 10, 21, that material happiness of which we hear such as promotion to heavenly planet for celestial enjoyment is just like a material happiness we have already experienced. Both are polluted by jealousy, envy, decay and death. Therefore just an attempt to raise the crops become fruitless if there are many problems like crop disease, insect plague, drought. So this is same thing. This is also substantiated that in heavenly planet there is the happiness is polluted by jealousy, envy, decay and death. Therefore there is no happiness in this heavenly planet. So this heavenly planet happiness in heavenly planet is also a wrong password. Then we can now go to another point of discussion, that by working hard, they say that there is no substitute for hard work. Working hard we can be happiness, we can gain the happiness, we can achieve the happiness. Let us know by authoritative scripture whether working very hard we can get happiness or not. Fruitive worker. All these people, all more 99% of people in the world, they are fruitive workers. They are going to office, gain some money, and they want to be happy. See, it is said that 11:10:70. Although the performer of fruitive activities desire perpetual happiness, it is clearly observed that materialistic workers are often unhappy, only occasionally satisfied, thus proving that they are not independent or in control of their destiny. When a person is always under the superior control of another, how can he expect any valuable result from his own fruitive action? So people are thinking, I will work hard, get happiness, job satisfaction, I will know. So, but they are also not happy because they are controlled by the superior. So they are not happy. Most often, it is said that they are often unhappy. Although you work very hard, but there is no appraisal, there is no, satisfactory result we have experienced. And occasionally satisfied, occasionally you have been given the appraisal, 5% increase, 2% increase, 1% increase. Working hard like a ass, day and night, enormous stressful life, exceedingly busy life, hustling, bustling to the office day and 24/7, but still the result is not desirable, not satisfactory. So that means by fruitive workers, or by performing your fruitive activities, we cannot become happy also. We cannot become happy. That is not also the right password. It's a wrong password to access happiness. So we have gone through so many different points, so many different wrong password we are entering in our life to access the happiness, family life, sensual pleasure, money, heavenly planet, fruitive workers, all these fruitive activities, all these things are proved to be wrong password, outrightly rejected by Srimad Bhagavatam. One of the verses also said that the karmi are always anxious to accumulate wealth for their sense gratification. But that purpose they must work very hard. Yet even though they work hard, the results are not satisfying. Indeed, sometimes their work result only in frustration. See, only in frustration. This is what the karmi is. Fruitive workers means karmi. They are trying to be happiness, accumulating wealth, but the result is reverse, frustrating. So then we can go to the another point of happiness, another impression or another conception of happiness is merging into the Lord, merging into the Brahmajyoti, impersonalist. They are thinking that they are happy. They have understanding that is all these karmis are waste of time. They are after some fruits which is very transient. So their understanding is very high, they better than karmi. They are thinking that happiness can be derived by merging into the existence, merging into the Brahman effulgent, merging into the God, impersonal existence. So actually that is also rejected. The so-called happiness also is not a permanent happiness. It is stated that yanya ravindak vimuktamanina toya asat asta bhavat avisuddha buddhaya. They are avisuddha buddhaya, not visuddha buddhaya, not suddha buddhaya, the avisuddha. Their intelligence is contaminated. Arvya kirchena param padam tatha patanti yada anadrita jasmatangraya. It is stated here that someone may say, aside from devotee who always seeks shelter at the lotus feet, there are who are not devotee but who have accepted different process of for attaining salvation. What happens to them? In answer to the question, Lord Brahma and other demigods say, O lotus-eyed Lord, although the non-devotee who accept the severe austerity penances to achieve highest position may think themselves liberated, their intelligence is impure. They fall down from their position of imagined superiority because they have no regard for your lotus feet. So these people, they are thinking, they manufacture their process of happiness, their process of liberation. They are thinking that by merging into the Brahman effulgent, they will become happy. But it is rejected here by Brahma himself, demigod himself, that their intelligence is impure, is not perfect. Their password is not right. They are wrong password. They are thinking they are happy, but this is imagined. They are imagining that. Actually there is no happiness. That is also temporary position. That is also temporary position. They can fall down from the Brahman effulgence. So therefore it is also rejected by this Srimad Bhagavatam, saying that this merging into the Brahman effulgent is a wrong password, is a wrong password to access happiness. So now we can move to another happiness. Some people, some of the Brahmavadi, they want to enter into the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That called Brahmanda, Brahmananda. They want to get that Brahmananda, but that is also rejected. It is stated in Antya Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita 3197. My dear Lord, O Master of Universe, since I have directly seen you, my transcendental bliss has taken the shape of a great ocean. Being situated in that ocean, I now realize all other so-called happiness, including even Brahmananda, to be like a water contained in the hoofprints of calf. All this so-called happiness is very, very like a small, very, very, what do you say, trivial, very trivial. Just like a size of a hoof print of a calf. Is a very hoof print of calf size is like this. Very small, very slim, very, minute. This happiness. All other happiness. Happiness of family life, happiness of sensual pleasure, happiness of money, happiness of heaven, happiness of, merging into happiness of a karmi, fruitive workers, happiness of, merging into the impersonal existence, happiness of Brahmananda. Also, they are very insignificant, very trivial. It is rigid. So this is all trivial actually happiness. This is therefore they are all wrong password to access happiness. It's rejected by the Shastra, Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. The authoritative scripture has rejected the so-called happiness, the conception of happiness by materialistic people and so-called transcendentalists. So it is stated that the Krishna Bhakta Niskama Ateva Santa Bhukti Mukti Siddhi Kami Sakali Asanda. Even those who are yogi, he wanted to gain some mystic power, they are also unhappy. They are frustrated. Even though get some mystic power, how to walk on the water, how to create a fire from the water, so many jugglery, so many mystic things, but they are unhappy because these are also transient by nature. Therefore, it is said that Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, Sakali, Asanta. All are, they are not happiness. They are not happy. Because they are seeking after the transient happiness, fleeting happiness, flickering happiness. They are entering a wrong password to access the happiness. But those who are devotee, what is the right password then? We have been discussing about all the wrong password to enter. Then what is the right password? Right password means to become a devotee of the Lord Krishna. Sarva dharman parityada mam ekam saranam bhaja aham tum sarva papabhya mukhya sami masuta. Krishna says, you give up everything, you become my devotee. Krishna bhakta niskama ateva santa. The Krishna bhakta is only happy because he has no material desire. He has no material desire. He has no the temporary ambition, aspiration to become happy by family life, by sensual pleasure, by heavenly planet, or by fruitive working, by fruitive workers, or by yoga system, or by merging into the effulgent. So they are all rejected by the bhakta. Bhakta is anyavilasita sunyam. They have no desire, only desire to engage in the service of the Krishna. Our whole entire human life, the materialistic entire worlds, the conception of entire world, that the materialistic approaches to counteract this unhappiness or achieve the happiness is fertile. They should be redirected to engage in the devotional service of the Krishna, Supreme Lord, so that they can advance in Krishna consciousness and really achieve the real happiness. Krishna Bhakta Niskama Ateva Santa. That is the solution, that is the right password to become a devotee of the Lord. Devotee of the Lord. Therefore it is say 11.3.21. This is therefore it is say that therefore Krishna himself say that Nastir buddhir ajuktasa nacha juktasya bhavana nacha bhavayanta santira santasya kuto sukham. Real happiness is unplugged here. Real password, Krishna has given a right password, real password, right password to access happiness. Bhagavad Gita 266 is given the right password. Nasti buddhir ajuktasya nacha juktasya bhavana. One who is not connected with Supreme in Krishna consciousness can have neither transcendental intelligence nor a steady mind, without which there is no possibility of peace. And how can there be any happiness without peace? So who is not with material intelligence, we cannot access happiness. These are wrong passwords. We manufacture so many different ways to become happy, but all this process, all this method become fertile, frustrated. Therefore it is said that unless one is not connected with Krishna consciousness, we have to connect it with Krishna consciousness. We have to engage in the devotional service of the Lord. then we have a transcendental, intelligent and steady mind. When we have a transcendental, intelligent, spiritual intelligence, we will not distract our mind for a sensual pleasure. Our happiness will be inward, not outward. Material intelligence means we are seeking happiness outwardly, seeing the McDonald's, KFC, and so on and so forth, casino, so many restaurants for meat eating, casino, discos. So these are the things outwardly we are seeking happiness, therefore we are frustrated, because these are the wrong password to access happiness. We have experienced practical life, and Srimad Bhagavatam rejected all this so-called happiness, so-called method, so-called wrong password. So here it is said that right password Krishna has given, that when we have a transcendental intelligence, we can control our mind, not to distract, not to incline for the, not to have a propensity and proclivity for the sensual pleasure or other method of happiness. So when mind is controlled, steady, then we will have a peace. If mind is not controlled, he is going for this pleasure, that pleasure, that pleasure, so many ways we want to become happy, then our mind is not steady, there is no question of peace. We are being harassed by our sensual senses, and we are not satisfied. Therefore we are harassed, we are frustrated. When we are connected to Krishna consciousness, nastir buddhir ajuktasya, when we are connected with Krishna consciousness, then we will have a transcendental, intelligent, steady mind, and we will have a peace of mind, and then peace of mind only we can have a happiness. So happiness is inward, not the outward. So Krishna here saying that in 5:21 another verses, that such a liberated person is not attracted to the material sense pleasure, but is always in trance, enjoying the pleasure within. The happiness is within, introspective. In this way, self-realized person enjoy unlimited happiness inside, for he concentrates on the Supreme, because Krishna, Sarvabhutanam Hudasya Tishtati Arjuna, everybody heart Krishna is there. Therefore our happiness when we are connected with Krishna, as in the previous verses. So Krishna is within the heart, it is not his. So therefore we have to seek the happiness within, not the outward. Outward is all Maya, illusion. Therefore this is the right password to seek the happiness inward, by connecting with Krishna. And that connection is possible when we approach a spiritual master. Also one of the verses in 11, 14, 12, Krishna say that, himself Krishna say, O learned Uddhava, those who fix their consciousness on me, giving up all material desire, share with me a happiness that cannot possibly experienced by those engaged in sense gratification. This happiness is yam labdacha paramalabha. This supreme happiness, unlimited happiness, unexhausted happiness we will get when we are connected with Krishna. And we can get all the happiness, Krishna say, when one is connected with Krishna, it is stated in 3:25-37, one is completely absorbed in thought of me. The devotee does not desire even the highest benediction obtainable in upper planetary system, including Satyaloka. He does not desire the 8 material perfection obtained by mystic yoga, nor does he desire to elevated kingdom of God. Yet even without desiring them, the devotee enjoyed even in this life all the offered benediction. So devotee has been given all kind of happiness, although they do not want, because they are connected in Krishna consciousness. They are connected with God. Therefore they get unlimited happiness, boundless happiness, unexhausted happiness. So that is possible. The connection with the Lord is possible by approaching a spiritual master. Therefore it is stated in that 11:3:21 that tasmad gurum prapadyate jigyasu shrey uttama sabde param nissantam brahmani upasamasrayam. It is said that any person who seriously desires real happiness must seek a bona fide spiritual master, take shelter of him by initiation. Because this real happiness, because only the spiritual master will connect us to the Krishna, and when we are connected with Krishna, we will get boundless happiness, unbounded happiness, unlimited happiness, unexhausted happiness. That is the right password to connect to Krishna through the spiritual master, is the right password to access the happiness, real happiness, permanent happiness. All other happiness are all temporary, flickering, fleeting, flying, fading, and wrong password, and have been rejected outrightly by the scriptures, authoritative scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, real thing is to connect to the Krishna. Because when you are connected, you will be achieve everything that can be achieved by the all other so-called happiness. That also will be included. Everything you will get, all permanent. Everything that can be achieved by, it is stated in 10, 11, 20, 32 and 33 verses of Srimad Bhagavatam, that everything that can be achieved, that is Krishna himself spoke to Uddhava, that everything that can be achieved by fruitive activities, penance, knowledge, detachment, mystic yoga, charity, religious duty, all other means of perfecting life, is easily achieved by my devotee, though loving service unto me, through loving service unto me. If somehow and other my devotee desire promotion to heaven, liberation, residence in my abode, easily achieves such benediction. So all the happiness can be achieved. Although devotee does not desire anything, still if he desires also, he will get all happiness. That is the right password, because he has got the right password of connecting with Lord. Therefore he can access the happiness. All others have no right password, they are wrong password to happiness. So-called family life, sensual pleasure, and so-called fruitive activities, so-called money, and so-called merging into the existence, so-called yoga system, all this kind, so-called Brahmananda, the so-called all this temporary happiness, they are wrong password to access happiness. Therefore they are frustrated. On the other hand, when you are connected with Krishna through the spiritual, bona fide spiritual master, what will happen? We will get all this happiness, even without desiring it, or with desiring it, either of the cases. Therefore, it is said that only proper fruit of acquired wealth is religiosity is the most important. Krishna consciousness is most important thing. Otherwise, all other methods are thing. There is a last verses before we avismriti Krishna padaravinda khinanti abhadrani sasamtanoti. So it is said that remembrance of Lord Krishna lotus feet destroy everything inauspicious, awards greatest good fortune. It purifies the heart, bestows devotion for the Supreme Soul, along with knowledge enriched with realization and renunciation. See, remembrance of the lotus. When you are connected with Krishna, remembering his lotus feet, it destroys all unhappiness. There is always happiness, always inauspiciousness. Always auspiciousness. Sarva Mangala Jagannath. Sarva Mangala. Krishna is Sarva Mangala. Om Mangalam Bhagavan Vishnu, Mangalam Garuda Dhajja, Mangalam Pundarikhyakam, Mangalayatanu Hari. Everything is Mangala, auspicious, happiness when we are connected with the Lord. We are not connected with Lord. All our conception of happiness, conclusion of happiness is wrong password to access happiness. So this is the only way to, we should understand that what is real happiness. And we should discriminate that, we should discriminate, we should go for this one. Therefore, real happiness to connect to the Lord through the spiritual master. You will get unlimited happiness by engaging in devotional service of the Lord according to the instruction of spiritual master. In association of devotee, we can get unlimited happiness. Unlimited happiness. Yam labdacha paramalabham. This is supreme happiness we can get. So thank you very much. So this is very, very informative, that what is the wrong password we must know and what is the right password to happiness. Because this happiness is very, very taboo word. This is very, very important. Everybody is seeking for happiness. Everybody wants happiness. Nobody wants unhappiness. Happy New Year, happy day, happy birthday, happy anniversary, happy appraisal day, happy good, everything is happy. But where is happiness? We must know that right password to access happiness. And also we know what are the wrong password to access happiness. Then only we can be happy. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. All goes to Srila Prabhupada.